when you're either installing a new or checking this, make sure it's tight. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to the manual accumulator dump, which is your green handle, and we'll see that later when we go up and do the emergency run up. And open that until the accumulator maintains approximately 40 bar, and then at 40 bar we want to shift it. As long as it shifts easily on that 40 bar or adjustments in spec. If it doesn't shift all the way, like if you put new parts in, you have it too tight.
Would that also make it, if you're, say you've already done the job, you've sucked your sponge back and folded up, and you washing out and you're in reverse, would that make the S-tube slow to swap?
Usually when we have that, what's happening is we need to check the pilot pressure. I was answering the question to somebody. Where your gauge for your accumulator is in the middle of the pump, behind that one there is 2 ports to connect the gauges. If you use the outside one, that is your pilot pressure. Connect your gauge. You should have a whip hose and a gauge to 0 to 100 or 0 to 400. We are looking for 40 bar in that one. If it's less than 40, there is a relief valve, a cartridge in front. Undo the counter nut, screw it in until you can get 40 and test it again. The way to test it is put water in the hopper so you won't burn your piston caps. Put your volume to the minimum, put your RPMs to the minimum, open the water box and observe. If it's happening in the same side all the time, we have to look at that sensing valve. If it happens on both sides, we have to look at the pilot pressure. So we can start with the pilot pressure. You don't have to buy any parts to adjust the pilot pressure. You got the gauge, you got the tools you need, you got an Allen, you got a 17 millimeters for that one. So check that cartridge, make sure that you got 40 bar. If with 40 bar the problem goes away, you didn't have enough pilot pressure. If the problem still exists in the system, take out the water box cover, observe. If the piston is all the way up, when that change near to the cylinder, that's the sensing valve working. It's possible that the sensing valve is worn out or has an internal leaks. If the cylinder is all the way down near to the water box, so it pushes everything, when the problem happens, most likely it's that one in there. Check the pressure first.
So the one that's on the bottom.
Yeah. Check the pressure first, because that is the cheapest way to do it. If the pressure is low, I have seen it, it happens. And to test it, to make sure that it happens all the time after you have done, minimum RPMs, minimum volume, reverse, and water in the hopper so you won't burn your piston caps.
Where do you hook a gauge up? Is that this port right here?
You have, if you notice there is a gauge over there. There is 2 ports. So if you move 90 degrees, the one towards the outside, that should be 40 bar. The one towards the inside is the volume control, and that's the one I was telling you, it should be around 0 to 25. Usually you go 2 to 27 because you actually have pressure, the atmospheric pressure and the pressure in the tank. So that will make it change 1 or 2 bars. So 0 to 35 is the maximum. You will be working around 2 to 27.
Thank you.
What about the same deal, but except for pressure's out?
When it gets to the end,
Yeah.
doesn't switch over?
Doesn't switch
Which
over,
side?
just pressure's out. Passenger.
Passenger side all the way out. Okay, so if you was the other side, I will say check if you changed the piston caps no long ago. Do me a favor. First of all, check your pilot pressure, because you need more pressure to make the system work most of the time. Open the water box, observe when it's happening. If always happening in that one, take apart the sensing valve. So you are going to have 27 millimeters, take out the fitting. That fitting has a hole in 15 degrees, that is a multiplication hole, cut in the fitting itself. Then you have the spring and the spool. Pull it out, check. Pass your nail over the edge. If you can feel the scratches with your nail, they are too deep, change it, because it's worn out.
That's inside the sensing valve.
The little spool inside the body of the sensing valve.
Yeah.
Check if it's worn out. But most likely it's a sensing valve if that happens. Anything else that happened in that moment is the S-tube getting stuck or doesn't reach over the side. What else is happening there?
It doesn't move.
It just get there and it doesn't switch over.
Yeah.
Try something else too. Check the pressure, check that. When that happens, if you go by the pump, the four-way valve near to the water box, the one that you have the spools moving back and forth. If you push the one sticking out, does it switch over and keep on going?
I think it did, yeah.
Okay, go for the sensing valve. 99% sensing valve. Sorry.
No, that's okay. All right, well, we're gonna go over how to stroke the pump without, if you lose electric.
If you have a total catastrophic loss of power, we're gonna go through everything to make it
Yep.
work.
So
Sometimes you will lose dump valve or forward or reverse pumping. So we're going to cover everything to make it work forward and to make it work reverse. So if only one thing happens, you already know the steps. If everything fails, you can do everything manually. You can bypass anything that could happen. You can make it work manually as long as your hydraulics are still turning.